Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to another episode of the After Game Unwind Podcast. Today's topic is going to be on the new Super Mario Bros. Series. This series of games has had its fair share of criticisms from many people over the years. And while I may not be the biggest fan of the series, and each game respectively doesn't look that different from each other, I think it's a good series of games to look back on and replay every once in a while. And I'm gonna look at each game individually and discuss them and see what each game has to offer, from its level design to its modes, everything else in between. We're gonna look at it. The first game in the series is New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, and it's just like it seems, a return back to the classics with a modern twist. Looking back, the game was decent at best, and while there are many good things about the game respectively, there are many flaws that plague this game even to this day, the controls especially. And just the overall graphics of it too, which I can't really seem to get out of my head. Which honestly looks kind of blocky compared to today's standards. And while New Super Mario Bros. DS is a good game, at times I feel as though like it could trip me up sometimes. Like it wants me to find the surprising thing, and it wants me to feel surprised, and it wants me to, look back and say, oh God, what happened here? To be honest, that's how it feels sometimes. And even though, it's a slug to complete and the controls are absolute garbage, I think the game is really good in many aspects. And it's not that amazing looking at the game itself, but as a first in a series of games, it's really great. And I recommend it to anybody who's looking for a decent DS game. Now, New Super Mario Bros. Wii is like it seems, of course, and it's a huge step from DS in terms of everything that it had to offer. And DS had two modes that were really interesting: Mario vs. Luigi and the minigame mode. And while those games were really great, I just think they weren't enough. And Wii has really great level design, miles better than the after titles that came after it. And to be honest with you, the music can get really annoying at times. And, great modes, great level design. It's got it all. And I think this is the definitive New Super Mario Bros. Game. And I think they should have just stopped at this, but they decided to, give this series of games another chance. And you'll see, at the end of this, it gets really bad. But it's still a great game nevertheless by itself. Now here's where things start to get really bad. New Super Mario Bros. 2 is what I like to call the underdog of the series, which it really is, by the way. And I'll be honest, it had really great ideas that made the game really interesting to see at E3. But when it comes to the actual game that has been released, it felt like missed potential from the very beginning. And you want to know what the worst part is about all of this? It reuses the entire asset from Wii. The game design, the worlds, even the music, man. They couldn't just add, original music. And the only original music is in the special worlds: World Mushroom, World Flower, and World Star. those are the only original pieces of music that I found in the entire game. And I bet most people uh, found that as well during their playtime with this too. And, you know, it doesn't seem that great of a game. And, it seems like Nintendo was just lazy with this. Like, they just ported Wii onto the 3DS. And, the concept isn't even that interesting either. Like, collect a million coins for what? And, oh, you want to know what collecting a million coins gets you? Drum roll, please. Hooray, a new title screen. Yeah, like we haven't seen that before. To be honest, it brings my excitement for the game. Haha, no. It's probably the worst idea that Nintendo has come up with, and to be honest with you, that is straight up lazy. So, I like New Super Mario Bros. 2 as the game itself, but for a series of games, for the New Super Mario Bros. Series, it's more of the weaker of the five that we got. Now, the Wii U was a massive failure for Nintendo, only selling 13 million units by the end of its life cycle in 2017. One of the launch titles for the system was New Super Mario Bros. U. Again, this game did not reach its potential, along with New Super Luigi U, which that game came out a year later. And both of these didn't really hit with consumers. And you think by now that Nintendo would learn their mistake from New Super Mario Bros. 2. Think again. No, they did not. This game honestly feels like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but HD. And to be honest, it's a little bit better, but I feel as though it didn't see the light of day, like I said again with New Super Mario Bros. 2. Like, it just reused most of the assets. And while the game design is amazing, by the way, it really is, just another missed potential game. And I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, along with New Super Mario Bros. 2. Because, I feel as though both of those games were missed potential. Even with New Super Luigi U, it's a lot more faster, more fast paced, but what else does it bring? It's New Super Mario Bros. U, but faster. Thank you so much for tuning in onto the After Game Unwind podcast. Please give me ideas for topics you would like to see as a potential episode in either the comment section of this podcast episode or in my email. Either way works best, but it has to be gaming related though. And if you would like to see other gaming content that I would have to offer, click on the two boxes that I'll have at the end of this podcast episode. Until next time, happy gaming and happy travels. Have a wonderful day.